Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to bring this energy forecast to life. One, because April just came and went, and I totally never got my stuff together to come up and do the April forecast, but it's been such a foundational month. And this month of May, we're really diving into the change that foundation has been presenting. So let's dive in. There's a lot of things to cover. There's a lot of energy themes throughout the month. And I really want to help you make sense of what might be happening in your sphere, especially for those who are focusing on their transformation, those who are really leading into change and really deciding to be the energy for which they create the change that they want in the world. This month, and let me just preface it by saying there has been so much physical chaos happening since I returned last weekend from the transformational event that I went to, Meant for Magic, with Andrea Franco. And as I integrate into this week, there's been moments of let's get busy and make new offers. And there's been moments of I need a nap. And there's been moments of really watching the energy shift in the physical. And I want to talk about what that might look like for you. And you can tell me below if it's happening as well. We've had electronic glitches or crashing, kind of like the nervous system is the tech mirror. It's mirroring that vibration, and it's not a bad thing, right? It's just there's so much frequency recalibrating in the body that you may start seeing some things in your physical experience go a little wonky until it matches into the vibrational frequency. Like the physical matter starts to align with your inner vibrational frequency. Now, if things continue to be a little chaotic, it's an invitation for you to just take another look and step back really quick and say, is there a pause here for me? Is there a way that I can just slow down and recognize the patterns that keep coming up so I can start making changes and being differently in my own reactions and responses, right? And so we've had other things. We've had this so funny. I was thinking about this in the own house. My daughter and the dishwasher, like every time she gets near the one corner of my house, in the kitchen, a dish will break. Today was her second dish breaking, and it like shatters into all these pieces. Hello, Corey. And I just want to bring that in because things falling or random accidents or messes continuously, it's just, for me, it's that convergence of the energy is palpable in the house. It's been raising. We're all in a beautiful baseline of increasing our frequency. And so the old things that are falling away might be breaking away, might be shattering, might be having this beautiful reflection in the physical of this. You might feel the need to want to suddenly reorganize. The clutter feels like intolerable. And I definitely have one space in our house that really needs that attention this weekend. So I could confer to that. Unexpected bills or money movement, clearing as you're going through clearing old money patterns. And I don't know if you're one who's been working on your money beliefs this year. I have, because I want to open my frequency to expand even more, to 10x what I have been used to or been bringing in, or that my business wants to be, so I can move more money out into the world to create more experiences, to create more impact, and create more believability for the women who want to believe that they can do the same, right? Leaving that legacy. So you might be getting unexpected bills or an unexpected influx. We've had an unexpected influx this week of close to tens of thousands of dollars, I'll just say that, and claiming what's ours, claiming what is here for not only myself, but my husband, our businesses. It's been really interesting to watch that unfold very quickly. The losing of items, your keys, your passwords, having to reset things. Like if you're just experiencing that, it's almost like an energetic reset equivalent that's mirroring to you in the physical. And lastly, getting sick or needing unexpected rest where your body's demanding stillness to anchor in that upgrade. I have been really amplifying my sleep. I've been taking time to rest. It's almost like my brain just goes, and we're done. And then I must be usually out here. I'll be on the couch outside or in my chair, really wanting to take that space, or going to bed super early. That has been one as well. So emotionally, you might be pulling away or acting out, like the mismatches, the oil and water kind of frequency mismatches with people around you. any ghosting or clients backing out, there might be a shift, knowing that these are redirections, right? Knowing that if we don't hold on to these things, they're going to come forward in new ways that produce more freedom, play, and adventure. Or even that feeling of being misunderstood. Some relationship dynamics are offering us the foundation of clarity that we set last month and really stepping into where we're not being clear, or we could be even more clear. So, hi, Rosalie. And so let's talk about the energy of the month. I just wanted to bring that out because so many clients were having some really major changes happening, of transitional change. And you can experience that sometimes where in the end it worked out, but there was a lot of chaos in the beginning. So we've had a lot of the physical symptoms, we'll say, and computer tech energetics. Even before coming on here, my laptop, needed to download Google. It was just one of those oversights. It was brand new, and it's looking for that foundation to grow and change from. So this month, people, this is an up-leveled leadership in motion. This 5 energy month is bringing in our relationship with change, and it's bringing in how we relate to change that's happening in our world. What it really wants us to invite ourselves into is to what's on the other side of change. If you think about it, we have a relationship with it. We either like it, we've had it all our lives, we may not like it, but there's always an invitation to go higher. So this 5 energy is saying, what if the change that you're experiencing right now can invite you into a frequency experience of freedom, play, and adventure that only can be experienced by allowing yourself to be in the actual physical changes without trying to fix it, think something's broken, or the resistance that you might be feeling in the way that you're trying to control or rescue within it. I know this week with clients, I've had a couple instances in the nuances of rescuing where we weren't seeing it. We were absolutely certain it was something outside of ourselves, but when it came down to it, we were wanting something different within ourselves that we just hadn't connected to that pattern yet. Rosalie says, I've entered into a 5-year with this 5-month just before diamonds. Right. In a 9 energy overall layering, for the collective, right? So there's a lot of letting go, but also a lot of not holding, so you can actually increase your capacity to receive more. So the 1st to the 5th, these first few days, we're in the spades, and the spades are really asking us to trust in the unknown. This is where the up level really begins, and it's an internal up level. We're noticing where our frequency is shifting. We might notice where our mind wants to take us backwards and forwards in the pattern. We might be playing a little tug of war with our own thoughts, but it's really about that soul structure, what you believe, what you hold, and what you hide. Those are all coming to light so you can amplify the higher expression of these things to holding more capacity to receive, to believing that what you want wants you, that abundance is your birthright, and where you're hiding is the exact same place of resistance that we get to lean into and love ourselves a bit more because we didn't realize that we were playing small in that area, or we were afraid to be seen so big. And so when we think of the 5 energy and the spades, I want to think about it as you're really wanting to move now, right? We've set the foundation. We've made decisions. We've really moved out of the worry into more of what we wanted. We've made some claiming. We've set our foundation into stability. Now the safety starts to activate within our nervous system. How do we feel about that? And is the mind on board, but the body needs a minute to catch up? You're going to feel that by feeling unsafe or doubtful. Maybe you're going back into an old pattern of scarcity. And now is the time to breathe into the nervous system, to breathe in through the heart, to ground yourself back in the present moment as much as possible. It's that mind-heart coherence, right? Where we are not one or the other. We're not tug-of-warring in what we think we're separate from. So the ways that are logical in this energy is not always the truth. It's about trusting what's falling apart. How did I write that before? What's falling apart is falling forward. So we're falling forward in it. What are we stumbling over that's in our own way? What are we stumbling over as resistance? Literally sometimes just picking up our feet to take the next step instead of tripping over a dragging foot, right? Letting go of certainty to land into a little more of the uncertain. The universe is going to meet us where the energy frequency resides in our body. And if what we're producing is not what we're wanting, it's an opportunity for us to recalibrate and reshift towards focusing what we do want and holding that space and that energy and that frequency of that feeling that we're going to feel like when it's here until it arrives. And oftentimes that's the hardest part, the law of assumption, acting as though it's already here. There's nothing you need to do. It's literally waiting for you to step up and into it. Does that make sense? And then honoring your body, that it knows more before your mind catches up, listening to the signals from your body. Your body loves you, and we fight it so much, and we're trying to shove it into a box most of the time, but it's really trying to communicate with you. And if you've been ignoring it, it will communicate louder. We used to have a saying, it's like, first you'll get like a tap on the shoulder, and then you might get a 2x4 completely across the face just to get your attention and what you haven't been paying attention to. So this week, the integration is looking like slowing down, feeling everything, allowing yourself to feel and not distract, numb it, dumb it, Netflix it, feed it, whatever those habits are, being with your body right now, giving it more water, giving it more rest, being outside, grounding into the earth, and trusting that the unknown is the sacred initiation that's here for you. Your business will shift, but only after you do. So that lands us to May 16th through 18th, where we land into diamond energy. And what's great about this is you don't need to know the suits of the cards through the Astro-Egyptian numerology that I'm looking at to create these forecasts, but you can feel into what that feels like for you. And especially looking back, I would pin this, I would come back to the forecast, and I would allow yourself to just check in at the end of next week. Is this how you experience this? How do you experience the frequency of the unknown, right? What is the stability that needs to be created for you to trust yourself more in that leadership? Now we talk about the diamonds. This is where we're really landing ourselves into the creation from what we're thinking about it, the creation of what's mirroring to us in the physical. So this beautiful 13 days, 12 days is going to be a reflection of how we move through that energy, how we could and master our energy expression that much more to be the energy we want in the physical. So with our money, how do we receive? Can we open ourselves to receive more? Can we love our money more? Are we approaching money with a debt mentality, a lack mentality, or a lucrative and fun, luxurious experience? It's all here for us, how we relate. Remember, change, how we relate to the things we're creating. What about your body? What about your physical health? What about your family and your environment? If there's things that wanted to be changed, but you're not making the change, their invitation is to focus more on what you want and not on what you don't want. And this includes our language. This includes how we speak to ourselves, what we call into existence. So the diamonds are all about value, money, time, and worth, and where we're compromising those things. Again, this year being a 9 energy year, you can no longer not see what isn't working, but it's up to us to make the change. It's up to you to decide what new habit, what new behavior, what new pattern is rising and showing me this repetition so I can leverage it to rewrite the story, right? And it's very much going to feel like a wake-up call. Like I said, you can no longer not see. You can't pretend it isn't happening. It's for you to raise your standards, the excellence from which you're operating on a daily basis. You're not here to blame someone or something else for the reason you can't find your time. It's about letting go of the things and really paying attention and taking the authority in where you're spending your time when you say you want something else. Until we can get truthful with ourselves, we keep playing these games with ourselves, right? Are you all in? And if you aren't, forget about it. But if you are all in, stop testing the water to make sure it's good before you leap, right? So if it's eating patterns, how are you spending your time eating? Are you emotionally eating? Are you running to the pantry as habit every time you get up off of a call? Are you feeding your emotions? Are you exercising? Are you forcing yourself by what someone else says you should be doing? Or are you really understanding and operating from a place of consistency and discipline that works for you. This is really about bringing yourself into the change. So a higher sense of self is emerging, a higher sense of your value is emerging, and you're not waiting for the world to give you permission. You are the permission slip. So a really beautiful integration is, rewriting your offer or pricing it from your future self, not your old fears, right? What do you have the body to believe is right for you? What do you have the body to believe is possible for you? Can you step into her just 1% more? Moving out of the energy of obligation and into embodiment is so huge. This permission slip we're talking about, this is no one else is going to live your life. And if you're a mom or a wife or a significant other, you have a relationship with another, but you are not responsible for rescuing them or controlling them or deciding what works for them. You're on your own path. They're on theirs. Together, you come into a coherence where you get to grow from that. So any obligation energy, any compromising energy is really inviting you to look at this so you can start to make new decisions towards the end of the month. You're going to be seeing it. You can make a new decision anytime. You're going to see the reflection, if you allow yourself to, of what is life mirroring from 51% of your mental energy and your emotional resistance. What happens if you open to receiving more of the love, the peace, the ease, and the wealth that's here for you? And how does that shift the world around you when you land into that synchronicity? May 12th, we have a full moon. So this clarity explosion. So in the middle of all this experience in the physical, we are going to have the spotlight energy, right? Like you're on the spotlight, and everything that's been brewing emotionally, financially, energetically, it rises now. It's your mirror moment. So again, a really big emphasis on, I can't keep going this way. You'll probably feel done with whatever this is, but not exactly knowing what's taking you to the next level, except that it's here for you to see and decide again. And in that decision, bring it into a committed action. What is the one thing you can do next to create this new habit for yourself, this new reminder of thinking, and this non-negotiable standard for not being here for the stories that you've told yourself before, or the claiming of what is wrong with you versus the brilliance in who you are. It's this bold claiming energy of stepping into your power and talking about you the way you wish somebody would talk about you. You get to own that. Does that make sense? Signs that you're in it is maybe mood swings or sleep shifts. These emotional breakthroughs are the clarity that must come through the action, the resistance, allowing yourself to be in that next level version of who you are, and letting it move, giving it space, letting it clear, not rushing it, not telling your body it should be done by now. Like the body knows. And if we can make space to stop resisting it, it's the greatest teacher. The 19th through the end of the month on the 31st, we're in club energy. Now let's mix club with 5 energy, and we are in embodied expression and our messaging. How do we talk to the world? How do we talk about ourselves? How do we communicate our desires? Hold, please. How do we communicate our desires? How do we speak it? How do we speak it into existence? And how do we speak it into alignment, into creation, right? Because you are brilliant creators. This is really inviting us, now that we've had these experiences of trusting the unknown, seeing what's unfolding in our physicality, we have a new way to think about things. 51% of the energy that you spend in your thinking is what's revealing itself in the physical. It's what's manifesting. It's not like we have this magical thing we must do to manifest. We're constantly manifesting. The better question to ask is not only what's possible, but what's actually happening and showing me a reflection of how I'm thinking. And then really becoming aware of what it is that's creating that perpetuating pattern in the physical for you, and taking the responsibility to move those thoughts. You're being asked to think differently, to speak boldly, and to move with clarity. And I feel like if you know, right? As the 5 enters, the theme becomes aligned expression. So showing up more. If you're an online coach or have an online business, talking more, showing up on camera more, sharing your thoughts and your writing more, speaking the truth, teaching more, being able to really launch that thing that's been on your heart. Go live, show up in a way that reflects you now, not the old part of you, not the part of you that couldn't before, but the one now, right? Letting it be imperfect, letting it be authentically you. And as you do these steps, as you take these actions, as you refocus your thinking, it begins to change a new mirror neuron pattern in your brain. The reticular activation system says, oh, you mean you want that? Oh, I can get you there. Not, no, this is protection. You said you didn't want that before. Remember, it made you feel sick to your stomach. You didn't like it. We're moving past that now to create a new definition. So then we have our last quarter moon on the 20th of May, which is a release. And so whatever you're holding on to out of fear, habit, or guilt, it's ready to move. So if you're having trouble finding what that is and not journaling through it, forgiving yourself with forgiveness work, I highly recommend reaching out to a coach. If I am the one that you would love to help you with, I do move the energy through the body. We connect the pattern and we rewrite it for yourself. Those subconscious patterns are going to become very conscious, and we can no longer play the game that we don't know, right? And so let this moon phase be your sacred pause to edit before the next big creation begins. We don't want to keep creating in the same energy that perpetuates the results we're getting. We want new energy, new results, new evidence. The mind, and we redirect the mind towards the new evidence that it's already here, that there's more available, that there's possibility coming, and it'll get on board, but it takes diligence and our redirection and our responsibility to do it. So then the end of the month, May 26th, we have a new moon rebirth energy. So imagine this rebirth energy after all of this awareness and new practice and new decision making and new commitment and new habits and new action taking, right? We reach this moon and it just hits a little bit differently. Why? Because you're no longer planting seeds. You're watching the seeds of your efforts grow. You're becoming new soil, and it's nourishing the plant that's sprouting. And we don't just leave it and say, peace out, you got this. We're watering it. We're loving it. We're giving grace where we didn't have it before, we being the plant, right? The idea, the things that are coming, we nurture them. We pour into it so it can grow into its fullest expression. You're always growing into the next fullest expression. We're never done. We're never there yet. We're never healed, but it doesn't hold us back from creating the life that we want, stepping into the leadership that we desire, being more of ourselves and letting ourselves soar in our bank account, our body, our belief systems, and our relationships more than ever before. And if you're listening here and you're still on here, you know you're meant for more. You don't want to settle. You know there's something that you have on your heart as a purpose or a mission in this world, and you're willing to do what it takes to see yourself there. But the way that we've been operating isn't going to keep hacking it when we realize we are the one that have to step up. And I know I can speak this from experience. I am not the same woman from last year, from 6 months ago, from last week, because I've constantly working on myself and allowing myself to keep staying in the work. Not because I feel like I'm lacking anything now, but because I know there's so much more to step into, to create, to believe, to call into existence. Does that make sense? So it's really that rebirth energy to reset from an integrated, clear, no more BS place. And that begins here first. We'll want to think it's outside there. That's the sexy way the brain kind of protects us. But there's always an opportunity for whatever you want different from someone else or something else to realize it's a call from within to make a change, to up-level yourself. So this moment inside this 9-year means we're being called to release any of the old energy that's run its course. Right? It's run its course. Who are we now in this new beginning? And this is somewhere I meet so many of my clients now. It's not about doing more. It's landing into the beingness of that new expression. It's here landing into the woman you're becoming. If you'd known how to do it, you would have already done it. But we're letting go and we're letting die away the parts of us that got us here with so much love and appreciation, right? We don't discard them. All parts are welcome. We also are going back in time to arrest the younger younger child version of us who held on to the pain. Because in the moment that we're sitting here in this convergence, in this crossroads, we're either pouring into the pain of what was, or we're really pouring into our purpose, right? That's the choice that we have. And when we're pretending we don't have the choice, it's really hard to adopt change as the thing that leads to our freedom, our play, and our adventure, and the thing that we get to step into in the woman we're not even becoming, we're just remembering, right? We're remembering more of who we are. which is why I love the numbers so much, because they're a very direct access to the remembering. And then we get to embody our current interpretation of where we are with that, and the highs, the lows, and every choice in between, to empower a more aligned, expressive, thriving, and abundant life. And there's this resisting that really wants to be seen, so you understand your resistance patterns. The more that you understand those resistance patterns, the faster you can move into your evolution. Once you identify the evolution pattern, you bridge the gap between what feels like is going to take forever, and the time between begins to shorten. So I love that for this month's energy. And if it's stirring something up inside you, you're ready to stop resisting and start evolving and creating those living shifts in real time, right? So I wanted to invite you into a couple places. One, are you curious? Diamonds, clubs, hearts, spades. It sounds like a deck of cards, right? So yes, it is. We use the book of life, the deck of cards, of playing cards, to do these readings and to understand our numerological chart. Based off our birthday and birth card. So it was really fun over this last weekend to create this beautiful chart around who you be. You look up your birthday, your month and day, you find your actual birth card, and we're looking at the suits. So you can learn a little bit more about each of the suits. If you would love to have a copy of this for your own, please put suits in the bottom of the chat, and I will send you a link where you can log in and download your own workbook. It's really fun to get some insight on who you are and who your family is, or your significant others, and get those aha moments that we're each traveling on our own pace, our own race, and that the way that we do things isn't the way the whole world does things. And it really opens and expands us. The other invitation I have for you is for those who feel like you're ready to dive in more, and you like support and you move faster through those timelines quicker with support. I have my membership up and running called the Aligned Ambition Collective. $97 a month. We come together in community. You have a private space on Facebook, and we are on Zoom twice a month. The first Monday of each month for mastery and mindset, and the third Wednesday of each month for numerology readings. We're really diving into your chart, your specificity beyond just card pulls. We're really looking at those charts that we're talking about to see what's up for you, what patterns here to leverage, how you can navigate your energy this month, this week, this moment, and move into a more high expression. If you want that support, I invite you into the membership. We're constantly growing, and we're also growing a library of beautiful activations and toolkits for you with that $97 month commitment. Cancel at any time, join back in at any time, but we are open and thriving and moving, and you're just in time for our May calls. May 5th is Mastery and Mindset Monday, where we take this theme of the month that we've just broken down and we really bring it into the nuances of what's happening for you right now with the coaching, love, and guidance, not only from the community, but with myself, to move you through. And then we meet a few weeks later into the deeper reading of where we can take it next. And really, you get this one-on-one with me, where you don't get that when I'm just pulling cards on Facebook Live. So if that's interesting for you, put aligned in the chat below, and I'll make sure those links, I connect with you on DMs. And that's it. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. Let me know how this lands with you. We can keep the conversation going in the chat. What part of it hit home? What part of it was like, oh, I can feel where maybe that's coming up for me, but now it got a deepening and a greater understanding where you can take different action and move forward. Have a beautiful rest of your Friday and a beautiful weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.